So I thought I was going to do some painting in one of my journals because I think it's fun and it's Sunday, and I think I should just have fun on a Sunday. So yeah, I'm just okay. So the journal I have is, I think there's a branding some there, you can see. It's like a D journal, and it is roughly 8 by 8. It's a bit narrower than it is taller. And I don't know how many pages, but I know that the paper is not quite 300 GSM. It's like 200, 250 or something. But this journal takes paint beautifully. Like, it takes a lot of water. But what I like about these journals is that it makes me paint more loosely. So yeah. Yeah, so I made this page yesterday, just very loose, doing some peaches, and today I thought I was going to do some playtime with my Jane set. And I don't know if you can see, but I have used my set quite a lot. I really like this set. So yeah, so I thought I was going to do this horse. I'm going to add some paper just over the peaches because I don't want to mess that one page up. And I know, I'm right-handed, so I will put my hand there, and I have my water on this side, and I will spill because that is just the way of things. Maybe if I put it there. Okay. So I have my little horse here that I've just roughly painted in. I just used a Polychromos cinnamon because I like this colour. So yeah, but I'm going to start with a brush, and I think I'm going to use, this is always like very tricky because I have very many brushes that I really like. I sort of curate them and they're each very special to me. Okay, that is so sentimental. I'm just going to pick one of my favorites. Okay, so one of my all-time favorites is this one, and it is a Jackson Quill, and it's 10/0, and it is fabulous. I have 2 more of these. I have one that is 0 and one is 4, so this is obviously not like the standard sizes of things, because if I pick out another 4, I think I have another Jackson that is a 4. Or here. Yeah, so this is a Jackson Icon brush, and this is a size 4. So you can see, like, these are obviously not the same size. But yeah, anyway, so I'm going to use this one. And I do a lot of shopping at Jackson, if you were wondering. Okay, so I think I'm going to start with my little horse. And I think I'm going to... I should have made a plan before I started, I think. But I don't really do that. So, yeah. Okay, let's do something fun. I think we're going to just wet the horse and then do some wetting wet, because this paper is just really fun to work with. Okay. So now the horse is wet, and I'm just like checking into, like, if you can see there is a glare, and that is a really good way to see that you have indeed wetted all the areas. So now I'm going to go in with Elizabeth because I like it. Okay, and I haven't pre-wet these paints, but they re-wet very easily because I have honey in them. And I'm just going to go around here and adding some pigment. And both Elizabeth and Darcy are made to have more effect when watered down. So you can see here that when this color is starting to dry, it will start shifting and granulate. Okay, so about that. And then maybe we want the legs a bit darker, going in with Darcy, I think. So in the base, these two are actually, like, number-wise, having the same pigments. But as you know, many pigments that are the same numbers actually don't look the same, and that is the case here. Okay, I kind of like this, and the tail. And when I do these kind of wet and wet, I really like to play with having strokes that go outside the pre-wet area, and you get that sort of wet on dry, almost dry brushed look. So doing that on the tail, and I really like that kind of effect. Plays really nice. Okay, and then typically when you have a horse with darker legs, it usually has a bit darker around the eyes and around the nose. So I'm going to add in that, and maybe the ears. I haven't added any mane to this horse because I kind of like it when they don't have that. Okay, and I still have Darcy on my brush, and I'm just going to go into Elizabeth and darken up the shadows. So like here on the belly, and as you can see, my horse is not typically proportionate. It has kind of a short and very tall body, but this is not a horse that I do for one of my like breed projects or like anatomy projects. This is just for fun, so it can look like this because it's more fun. So you can see here it looks like this. Legs looks really thick, but it's actually like 2 legs, like both the front legs. So I'm going to go in and define that later once this is dried. Okay, so I'm going to clean off my brush, and I want to add in some sparkle because that Wentworth is speaking to me. So I'm just going to use another brush because I like to use a different brush when I work with the metallics. So I just use a synthetic brush and a different jar of water. Now, if you like getting metallic or glitter into all of your paints, then use the same brush and use the same water. But I do like that, but at the same time, I want to have a little bit of control. So I like to switch out, so I have a special jar of water for the metallic and also a nylon brush, because typically the metallics goes a bit rougher on your brush, and this is natural hair. I don't know, I think it's a mix of natural hair and synthetic, but I like to use synthetic or nylon for this, just because I know that they can withstand it a bit better. And I don't need a brush to hold a lot of water when I'm working with the metallics, because I don't want a lot of water with the metallics. I want them to really shine. While when I work like with the background, I want a lot of water to make them, to really work them in. So yeah, it's just different. But I mean, you can obviously just go with one brush. I'm just really extra because this is what I do all day. Okay, so I'm making this hair a bit dappled because it's one of my favorite looks, and maybe he has a little bit of dappling in his head because that's nice. A little bit on the ears, because you know, dappled horses have dapples on the ears. Anyway, a bit in the tail. Okay, we are so... okay, stop it. Anyway, okay, so I really like how this is starting to look. Very pretty. I can see that I'm not super happy with some of my edges, so I'm just going to go in with a quite dry brush with the Darcy and try to smooth out. This is one of those things with this, with the paper in this journal, is because it's quite rough paper or has a lot of texture. Sometimes you get that sort of, can't control the edges quite the way you want to, but I think it's mostly fun. Now when this paint is starting to dry, ja, god morgon, vi hälsar innan. You can go in with a fairly dry brush. It's damp. And then add in with pigments, and that will just add a little bit of extra contrast. But if I were to go in with this brush with more water, then I would push the pigment on my page away. So just something to keep in mind for water control. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that, and I think you can start seeing how the paint is starting to separate and granulate and create all of these really cool effects. So I'm going to add in a little bit of shadow right here with the hip bone, and then right here, and then darkening up the eye. Okay, so stop it. It's so easy to just continue. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry, then we're going to come back and work on a little bit of background. Okay, so I have let this page dry, and as you can see, we've got quite a lot of more like effects here. So like especially on the legs where we have Darcy, and also here we have Elizabeth, and of course our dappleness on the horse, which I think looks very nice. Okay, so first we're going to do, I'm just going to go in with a little bit of smaller brushes. I'm just going to take this synthetic one, and I'm going to go in with Darcy again, just so you can see the other leg here, because it's a bit odd if you had this thick leg. Okay, so I'm just going to go in doing that. Yeah, okay, and maybe just a little bit darker eye. Okay, but now I want to do a little bit more of a background. And the colors I have here, Anne, I know I've got a few comments like, oh, that is the perfect sort of skin tone, and well, yeah, it could be if you have that kind of skin tone, but I didn't make it as a skin tone. It's quite opaque. If you want to use it as a skin tone and have that, then it's fine, but I didn't intend it for that, so that is why it's so opaque, just so you are clear on that, because I really like using those as a background. So that is why. But as it is opaque, you can do a lot more with it. But I want to use that as a background here. So I'm going to go in with a bit bigger brush, and I'm just going to take the Zero Quill because they hold a lot of water, which is really nice. I'm just going to wet it into the water. Going to add a bit of Anne, and I'm going to start on the left hand side because I'm right-handed. And I'm going to go around the horse, but do sort of like a messy border around, and do quite a lot of water, because I don't want it to have like a complete flat surface. I want there to be a bit of texture, and I want some places to be have more pigment, and some to be more where you can like sort of see the paper coming through. So now we're going like all the way around. I have a little bit of a like that kind of messy border, and having like, you can definitely tell what kind of color it is, but it's not like a complete flat surface. I still have some of this really pretty handmade paper poking through, and yeah, so I really like that. But I want to go in with a bit of Nightly, and I want to add some sort of texture in the background. Okay, just going to add in, oops, some Nightly. And my plan for this is to add in some more organic shape, and then go around with Emma adding some like details in one that has dried. So I'm having in mind sort of florals or leaves that I can sort of add in some details with later. It's something like that. It looks really, really messy, but what I really like about it is that even though we have added more colors and sort of like a messy background, the horse is still coming through because the colors really complement each other. So yeah, so I'm going to let it dry again, and then I'm going to go in with Emma and doing some fun details. I'm going to take a number 1 brush, and this is one of those travel brushes that you can travel with, and I have them in the store, and this is a number 1 and I really like them, so I'm going to use it. And this is synthetic hair, so it works perfectly for working with the metallics. So I don't know if you can see how fast that reacted or re-wetted, but yeah, that is the power of honey. So, but it's also the reason why I prefer working with the synthetic or nylon brushes in these, because you do need to work a little bit, and I feel like the synthetic has a little bit more strength to sort of really do that. Now, depending on what you're going to do with the metallic, like now I want enough to coat my brush and I'm going to do fine details. But if you're going to do bigger stuff and you need more on your brush, then you obviously need to like work a lot more to get it all over your brush. And that is sort of like it takes a toll on the brush to sort of scrub in the pans. So yeah, but this is not a video about that. Anyway, so I've put down the Nightly color, which is a really lovely bright orange, but it has sort of like an earthy undertone. And I wanted to lay it down in sort of like flower leaf shapes. And it's very, very, what do you call it? Abstract. But now we're going to go in with Emma and make it more popping. Okay, so this one I sort of feel like it is a flower. So I'm just going to go in, and I kind of like it when you get that sort of fat, unperfect look. So I'm just going to take my cues from what I can see and sort of building up this little flower here. Okay, so I think that is about what I can do. Oh, we also need to do a little bit of splatter. Yes, I think so. Because just it gets better with splatters. Yeah. Okay. Oh, just like a little bigger ones too. Okay, stop it. Yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. I also think I want to go in with dark sepia, just to add a little bit of contrast and definition here around the eye. Just like adding a little bit of extra texture. I think it's really nice colored pencil on watercolor, so just a little bit. And you can still see like the pen I used to make like the sketch for it, you can still see that underneath, and I really like it, but I just want a little bit more like contrast around it, especially where I was a bit around the legs here, back, this part where you have like the leg going together with the tail. But I don't want to go in like too much into the horse because I feel like that is the watercolor job. But yeah, something like this. Do we need a bit of white in the eye maybe? Yeah, just a little bit. Something like that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have liked this video, and that is, if nothing else, it has given you a bit of inspiration. So yeah, thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.